1993, Steven Spielberg unleashed the monster franchise that was Jurassic Park. At this point, nobody had ever seen a film quite like this, with its photorealistic, for the time, CGI dinosaurs and state-of-the-art animatronic effects. Now, of course, a film as big as Jurassic Park was always going to attract interest from software houses, and there were a variety of video games produced around the Jurassic Park license. But the one we're looking at today is the 3DO version, Jurassic Park Interactive. This game bears no resemblance whatsoever to any of the other versions, such as the Mega Drive's platforming action or the Super Nintendo's top-down shooter adventure game. No, Jurassic Park Interactive was meant to be a statement piece for CD-ROM technology, and indeed was meant to launch as the packing game with the 3DO. However, due to various issues, the game wouldn't actually be released until 1994. So, without further ado, let's take a look at Jurassic Park Interactive for the 3DO. So, here we have Jurassic Park Interactive on the 3DO. As you can see, like many games at the time, it was relying on using FMV to show off the fact that it was a state-of-the-art CD-ROM production. Now, the gameplay doesn't really rely on this FMV, which is probably a good thing because it's quite grainy, it's a little bit jerky, you can see there's a little bit of tearing going on there, but you know, it is significantly better than was available on the Mega CD, for example. You know, this looks really good. In comparison, of course. Obviously, the iconic logo. Now, this intro section does go on for quite a while, which is fine. Like I said, it was meant to showcase the system. You know, as I've already said, this was supposed to be the original launch packing title for the 3DO. This was going to be the game that sold the system to people with its really fun visuals and its use of CD-ROM multimedia technology, because that was the buzz of the time. And, well, yeah, I mean, it's a CD-ROM intro. These days it's nothing special, but at the time it certainly was quite a unique and eye-catching thing. As you can see, some parts of it use stills from the film, some parts, such as this bit, use an illustrated version of an iconic shot for some strange reason. I'm guessing there's some kind of copyright thing going on there, because what you'll notice is you'll see lots of full motion video clips and the characters in the game, and it's very, very obvious that they're not the actors from the film. They're stand-ins who have a very vague resemblance to the actual characters in the film. I mean, the guy doing Jeff Goldblum there just looks like a dude with black hair who had thrown a pair of sunglasses on and a black shirt and said, "Look cool." Doesn't really work, but you know. Now, the actual gameplay itself, you can select your difficulty levels, as you can see. Obviously, I'm going for normal because, well, frankly, I'm a rubbish gamer. And you are loading into the Jurassic Park security systems. You've got 24 hours, and this is your terminal. You've got the heliport down here. Now, when I was recording this footage, you'll notice there's a lot of messing about here, button pressing, because I couldn't remember what to do because I was too lazy to go and get the manual from the box and check what I was supposed to do. Obviously, you can click on the different sections for the operations and it will take you to different parts of the system that you need to work with. Now, it's it's a fairly simple interface. This part doesn't really show the system off. Indeed, I don't think there's anything on screen at the moment here that the Mega CD couldn't do. It's really more the video quality and a few of the bits when you get into the game, mostly to do with how detailed the graphics look more than anything else. You know, you can see which dinosaurs are where on the island, and they are quite nice looking images, certainly much more detailed and colourful than would have been available on the Mega CD. Now, here's where you can select which character you want to go and see and assist. So, as you can see, I'm going to go and assist Ellie, and we're going to go to the security tracking station. You get a little bit of grainy video in the corner. Now, you'd only seen it from behind there, so that almost could be the actress from the film, but having seen the still photo, you know it isn't, so yeah, not sure. There's no real reason why you can't use the stills, and it gives you an example of the controls there, just so you know what you're doing. Now, this section, you're actually driving one of the cars being chased by the T-Rex, and as you can see, it looks okay, but again, I think this is something that the Mega CD could have quite possibly done, albeit not as nice looking. You know, there's some nice detail and colour again there, and the scaling is pretty good. Certainly not as blocky as, say, the scaling would be on the Mega Drive version of, say, Batman Returns, but it looks good. And this is what the game is. You're helping the characters get round the island, competing in various mini games to try and save them, you know. You've got that driving game there. There's a couple of sort of shooty type games. There's also a 3D section where you sort of wander around the building, which is what this one is. And to be honest, this looks pretty good. This definitely could not have been done on the Mega CD. This is actually, even with later games that came out, one of the better looking 3D sections on the system. As you can see, you've got this, it looks a pretty decent engine, you know. This could have been good for a Doom type game, although it was never done like that, and yeah, we all know what 3DO Doom's like. But this is pretty good. This is definitely... Oh, and here we go. Here comes a raptor. And, well, let's just say things are about to go very pear-shaped. I'm dead. You get a nice little animation there, although I reckon it could have been better. Sorry you did not make it. That's a nice way of putting it, isn't it? No, oh no, you're dead. No, sorry you didn't make it. Well, we've got another driving section coming up here as we head towards the T-Rex paddock. Why you would want to head to the T-Rex paddock if you know what goes on in Jurassic Park, I have no freaking clue. But anyway, Dr. Grant decides to head there. And yeah, it's another one of these driving sections, which even though the video is clearly showing it to be daylight, all these driving sections appear to take place at night. Don't know why. As you can see as well, I didn't mention this on the first one, you've got a little counter there just on the right hand side which counts down the distance to the end of the level. It's very easy to hit roadside objects because it's very difficult to judge how wide your vehicle is. You think you've missed something, you hit it, you think you're going to hit something and you go past it. It's very strange. But there's a lot of these sections, and yeah, as the mini games go, this is probably the easiest of the mini games to play out of all of them. It's fairly simple, straightforward. There's nothing overly complex to it, especially when you compare it, say, to that 3D section we just saw, and the shooter sections, which seem to rely on some very, very specific aiming, as you'll see shortly. I mean, that guy doesn't even look like Sam Neill, not even close. So who knows? Nedry. Now this guy's probably the closest looking one to the character in the film, but again, it's obviously not the actor. And he seems to be the only one where you see his face in these little security camera clips, probably because they thought he looked the closest. Now, okay, time to avoid the spitters with your taser. What you'll notice here is you have to charge the taser up, and then when one of the spitters comes on, you try and electrocute it. Now, the problem here is the control isn't the best, and even when you think you've got one of the spitters, it doesn't necessarily register a hit. It's really fiddly and complex, nicely parallaxed graphics, but yeah, it just doesn't work. But basically, this is Jurassic Park Interactive. This is what you do. It's not a great game. It's not a truly terrible game. Do I think it would have changed the fortunes of the system had this actually have been the game that was released with the system? No, I genuinely don't. I think if they wanted to put a packing game, it should have been Road Rash or Need for Speed, but what do I know? Anyway, so this is Jurassic Park Interactive, and that was that. It's an okay game, but like most 3DO titles, it does go for a rather large amount of money compared to most other titles out there, especially if you're a Jurassic Park fan. It's much easier to pick up the SNES or the 2 Mega Drive versions compared to this one. Anyway, that's been me for today. I'm Rob. This is 81632-bit. You know all the usual stuff by now. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment. And yeah, I will see you on the next episode.